Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thank you guys so much for joining for the latest live here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. And with that said, welcome to my Safe Gayven, everybody. I checked the last time. The last time I went live was like over 6 months ago. So that is crazy. It was during an interview with the vampire, but we here. It's a new year. So hopefully I'm going to make these a little bit more frequently. But you know, guys, I had to pull out the big guns for this live, especially since it's been 6 months since I went live. So I had to get the family back together, the Guardians of the Globe back together. And we came back stronger. We came back even more powerful, especially one guest over here. She is everywhere. She is the Invincible of the stream. Came back with 138% more strength and all that other stuff on the DC podcast. And she's everywhere. She's out here. James Gunn knows her name. You got the showrunner of Harley Quinn. All these people know her name. So, of course, I had to have her on, the celebrity. So let's bring on my dear friend and future wife. I know Ron's going to fight me for that, but I don't care, you know. But let's bring on fantastic Frankey.
Yeah, I was offended a little bit because you called us Guardians of the Globe, and I was like, "Why he couldn't ask? They losers."
I mean,
but then you called me Invincible, so I
had to keep it within the realm of the show.
You was cutting ass. You was cutting ass. You call us Viltrumites or something. I don't know.
I mean, it could have been good. Okay, the coalition of planets. The coalition of planets.
Science, but no. Thank you for having me. Yeah, you're right. We got to be live more. I see people from my Discord on here. I miss y'all. I'm so sorry. I've been gone. It's been hard, but yeah, I've been giving y'all some sort of content, something to eat off of. And man, Invincible, Robert Kirkman. God,
I had a couple comments like, "Yo, when y'all going live? Y'all haven't gone live." I was like, "Damn." Then I looked at it. I was like, "Oh, damn."
There's multiple shows you can go live for.
Yeah.
Listen, I should start doing lives for Severance because that shit is fire. That shit is actually fire. But yeah, let's bring on the rest.
Let's bring on the rest.
Danimus said you got to get in line for Frankie's heart.
Yeah. Well, so with that said, we're gonna keep it with the Viltrumite of the pod. He's like the Thrag. He's the leader of everything. He knows all. Invincible is like his favorite thing ever. He's the one that got me on it, actually. And I think you too, Frankie. And you know, this is actually the first time I had him on in a while. We used to go live like every week, but I guess he's too good for me now. Like he off saving the world. So, but let's bring him on. People love him. People, you know, adore him. He's famous. He's on quoted by Marvel Comics itself. Ron from You Don't Read Comics.
It actually has been like a minute, and you really got to. The more popping Frankie get, like, is more of a reason for you to introduce her last. Like, I can't go on after Frankie. Like, this is ridiculous.
No, Ron.
I cannot go on after
Iron
Frankie.
Man, which is crazy. He runs one of the biggest.
Exactly. You more behind the scenes, bro. You still biggest. You bigger than all of us.
All right.
He's the biggest comic book fan and an encyclopedia. Like, honestly, y'all, a lot of times when I get references, it's from Ron. When I get references, it's Ron. So no. Cat. Ron got his hairline after 30. Okay? He's still in shape. Let's not fall ourselves short, okay?
Okay.
That smile. He trying to downplay himself. Like, don't downplay yourself.
I'm not. But it's been a while. I'm really excited to talk about Invincible. Like, there's been a lot of improvements, I would say, and it's we'll talk about it. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. So with that, next person on the stream, this man, like, I love his mind. Like, anytime he makes a video and his take, like, I see him in the background. He's hyping himself up. But every time a video of his come up on my show, I was like, damn, he make me feel stupid. I'm like, damn, I wish I was that smart. Like, his takes
all the time
always be on point. And then sometimes the words I'm like, what's with these SAT words?
Right? I mean, like, yo, this shit was wild good. And he'd be like, if you look into the diatribes that they're trying to portray,
right? Just tell me if it was good or not. He don't even say good. He'll just be like the equate. I'm like, what?
He's that nigga who see the numbers in front. Also, Dan the Man said after 30 is crazy work. So.
And actually, I think this might be the first time I had him on my channel. I think.
Oh, yeah. He's been on mine. Yeah.
But let's bring him on. Destructo Jugo Ateh. Ateh, what are you doing? Sit down.
Oh, now with the intro.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now that should I have music playing?
Yo. Thank you for having me on here.
Is this my first time having you on my channel?
Yeah, because I damn near I think it is. It's really wonderful to be here at the BlackGayComicGeek channel.
Yeah, we were just talking about how good your vocabulary was, and now you
and his name is right there.
You just
butchered it. I got excited. You
Frankie, you shouldn't be having this conversation about mispronouncing. It's really you can't be a part of this conversation. You sit in the back.
Can I say every episode of the DC podcast, every episode after we film it, we spend like 10 minutes after doing pickups for me to re-say names because they don't want to stop my flow.
What to kill me is
it's
funny because we talk about Invincible, and it's like I remember when you first started reading it, you kept saying Ryan Oatley. I was like, oh no, it's Ryan Otley. Ryan Otley.
They just, it's Frankey-ism. So like every day, be like, all right, time for pickups. And some of it be regular words that I'm. They be like, you said.
So you telling me?
Don't worry about it. It's like don't worry about the white man.
I'll be like, I should say something in the car like Frankie. That's not how you say it.
Somebody will. Let me tell you something. You never have to correct me in my comments because best believe 40 people will. So if you see something, you don't gotta say
something. Like it's complicated words. So it'd be something as simple as like house. And
bro, like house. One syllable word, she gonna fuck up, bro.
Nah, you know what is weird? It's not like it's like an accent thing. Like she's from somewhere else, where it's like, oh, she's pronouncing it differently.
I'm from a world of fantasy. Okay, I grew up reading and not talking to people, so I learned how to speak from animes.
She mispronounced words. Like English is not her first language for real.
Exactly. What we need is a reset because this is an Invincible review, and we need to get back to where we were. We've lost the plot already.
But real quick, before we get into it, Ateh, since it's your first time, introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah. Oh man. To all of you guys in here, I just want to say. I got that thing on. I just want to say my name is Destructo Jugo. I am a, content creator from around the way. And man, I enjoy talking about media, analyzing media, and enjoying art with my friends. Very happy to be here with my friends to enjoy art. And if you want to see me, do more of the things that I do, you can find me on any platform at Destructo Jugo.
Yeah, he bought that shirt, y'all, just for today.
special
interviewing to be on Mike Lives.
You gotta up one more now.
My fault.
Yeah. Oh, you got a shirt.
Yeah, I'm like, you on the BlackGayComicGeek channel.
You
like,
you can't do that. You gotta sell it. You gotta sell it.
Last button.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna get black with it, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and rock this shit open style, bro. Wow. Yeah, full open, bro. Hold on, bro. I'm almost finished. You feel me? It's like that. I got that chain on too. Come on now. Now we're talking.
Damn.
Let me sit like one of them niggas.
Anyway, let's get into
women.
Let's get into Invincible. So with that, they dropped 3 episodes. So we're not gonna do a full play-by-play. We're just gonna talk about the 3 episodes and what we thought about it, and then I know you guys know way more about the comic than I do. I'm only on issue 93, so I'm pretty.
You know why though, and we could all say this together. Mike don't like good shit.
I'm reading it.
I read Invincible the entirety, the 144 issues.
It's like once you get to issue 8 or something like that, you just read the whole thing through. Like you can't stop. Mike doesn't like good things.
He's on 96. How's he on issue 96 and he's not trying to see what happens next?
Yeah,
I gotta sleep.
Mike been reading his book for 3 years.
Other stuff I gotta watch and read.
I was up till 3 a.m.
Facts. I was reading this when I was a kid on school nights, gang. I'm talking about 16 years old, 2 a.m. I gotta wake up for
sleep
you feel
over
me?
Kirkman's work.
But the only thing I'm gonna say for people that haven't read it, so y'all know, because like it's a lot of issues. But the issue that I just read, Bulletproof just got his upgrade, so that's where I am.
Oh, well, before we get like deep into the comic book discussion, let's talk about the show.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, where it's at, and then at the end we can go into spoilers, comic book spoilers.
I would like to do that.
Some people, which way is he? Some people haven't read. Some people haven't done their homework. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I feel like there's one big theme that happened over these last 3 episodes, and it's, the civil war that we're beginning to see between Mark and Cecil. And one thing I do like, I'll talk about the comics up until where we're at. Show, but one thing I really do like is that they're definitely making it a lot more balanced. I've always been Team Cecil, but Mark Stans had way stronger legs to stand on in the comic books. Like here, they showed us that Cecil one, first and foremost, only thinks about other people. That was the first thing they showed us in the second episode that was about, us. They also showed that like Mark is hot-headed, and then they showed us what it's like to see a child with that much power, because Oliver honestly has, I think, the same maturity as Mark. Like if we're really getting down to it, he's speaking with logic. He's moving very. And how long does it take for Mark to be that?
I like what you just said, and it's like levels to it. Like you said, like Mark is hot-headed, and then you also see Oliver as a child doing the same thing at a lower level, and it's like they parallel so well in the way that they're telling the story. And I love that the fact that they gave Cecil way more background than they did in the comics to like, illustrate why he's the way he is,
Yeah. What it's doing to me, what I think is happening this season, to your point, is that they're expanding on this Civil War storyline in a way that just was not as fleshed out in the comics. Like you can tell that the sort of like philosophical argument between Mark's position and Cecil's position is a much wider focal point in this series. You have the characters like arguing with each other about who's right, and like conflicts, interpersonal conflicts, like between the other superheroes arising from that conversation and from that conflict. It seems like that's what this entire season is going to be about. And I like the way they're setting it up because it feels in a lot of ways more natural and more understandable, like in terms of like understanding where Mark's coming from and understanding where Cecil's coming from, than like something like House of the Dragon, which tried to do a wider narrative conflict about like two opposing ideological positions, but kind of failed at it.
Yeah.
House of Dragons, everybody's voting for the same house. You know what I mean? Like this is not black as like, black as white.
If you picked, and this is the thing, I'm Team Cecil, right, in this. But I kind of understand what they made sure that Cecil did things that you're like, this is actually really sus, but not enough. So even still, just like House of the Dragon, I'm like, you Team Mark, why?
Why?
The thing that I appreciate is in showing us this Civil War, we actually got to see, like, in many ways, Cecil used to be Mark. He used to have that same mentality and that backstory that they gave him that made us appreciate and understand where he came from. And honestly, I kind of make, because a lot of people like to compare him to Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I think he's a better Amanda Waller, because Amanda Waller, like, even though they try to portray her as not a villain, she's a villain at the end of the day.
This is the thing, though. Hear me out. Cecil is propaganda. And in that way, I think Amanda Waller is better, because Cecil is perfect. Cecil is doing this for the bet. What we're seeing here,
he's a good guy.
He's not real. Cecil is Superman. I see what you're saying. On a different side of a coin, Cecil is like Superman, Captain America. Like nobody can be that good. Like nobody
in his position. Nobody can be that good in his position. Facts.
And the government, he's running the government with integrity. He's fair.
Exactly.
Nah,
he's honorable.
He's not doing any cocaine. He doesn't have any prostitutes. Like nothing's going on. Like
you're just good. You're just willing to risk your whole life because I'm not gonna hold you. I think that Amanda Waller would do what Cecil did. I think she would have closed that door and got her skin burnt off, her body burnt. So maybe not my
Stop the cap.
Superman.
No,
There's
no.
We've never seen Amanda Waller put herself.
I agree with Frankie. Like, instead of letting it released on all those people, I do think she has good in her. You know what I mean?
I think she has good in her.
Exactly.
She's xenophobic, yes.
I think she would let it be released and let it kill thousands and just figure out a way to pivot that into like blaming them for and securing more funding. Yeah, I mean,
Amanda Waller, which is very realistic. I think early Amanda Waller is young, but you're right. Like if they got it all, she would have like, get me out of here. Get me out of here. How do we contain this?
See her put her body on the line. She's willing to put other people's bodies on the line.
Viola Davis not doing no shit like that. Let's keep it a bit. Viola Davis not doing that. Amanda Waller not doing no shit like that.
Is that like, you know, like I said, Superman, Captain America, that altruisticness, like nobody's that good. Like this man doesn't want his own family. He doesn't want, like, what does Cecil care about? He just cares about helping the world. Like nothing is for him, and it just doesn't make sense really. But when you oppose that with Mark and it's so way that's so good that you can't really be mad at Cecil, it makes for a better story, you know. Otherwise Cecil's just the villain.
Then he's just a villain, and that's why like a lot of people were in my comments like, you're a fan, this is government propaganda. I was like, Mark is fascist propaganda like Nolan, and that's storyline. So let's get the propaganda out of the way because that's going to be there. That's going to be there no matter what. So we can't even think about that. But if we're looking at the stories, they are pretty balanced. But we also have to think of the privileges that we have as an audience that Cecil doesn't have. So even what people are using on Mark's defense, Cecil doesn't know. They're like, oh, well, he didn't actually forgive his father. Cecil don't know that. Cecil know is that he left for months and came back with another Viltrumite.
Another one is crazy.
That's your father's son. All Cecil knows is that in every other universe, this guy sides with his son. And all Cecil sees, which
I don't think he knows that yet. We're not there yet.
We're not there.
No, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
But what he also sees, which is what the Immortals, I wish they really played into the Immortals PTSD, but Cecil saw Omni-Man for 3 episodes straight. The first one, he yoked him up. The second one, he beat up. He did frame by frame the same fight that Omni-Man did with Guardians of the Globe in the same place. Immortal had to watch that shit again. And I was shocked that Immortal didn't bring it up. I was shocked that Immortal wasn't like, y'all, I saw his father do the same flow. This is Bronny. Like, we're looking at Bronny right now.
Word for word. He copied his whole flow. Word for word.
And you know what? I loved, and this is something I said to Mark Stan the other day. You know that Cecil's right because Robot didn't say, Robot, who is full logical, full whatever, didn't say, yo, Cecil's wilding. He said, Mark is strong as fuck. I can't.
Exactly.
He's nice. I gotta rock with him.
He could have lied. He was like, I know you like that girl. He was like, what? I mean, yeah, I like her, but
and it's also a tease to like.
I'm not even going
to tease to like Robot's storyline, which I'm not there yet, but I know of it. But it's like there's something going on with him that like that line that he, because that was that line was kind of cold. It was just like, yeah,
it's very Robot.
Nah, Robot.
I mean, Robot, like Frankie said, is logical. He's recognizing a threat, and that's what Cecil is doing as well. I know there's some Batman fans out here like Superman hold kryptonite on him. You know what I mean?
No, this is what gets me tight. Yeah, Superman definitely keeps that shit ready just in case. But also, everybody keeps on bringing up Tower of Babel, and I'm like, the entire point of Tower of Babel is that Batman, 1, only had them to incapacitate, and 2, didn't wave it in front of people, right? Like, he didn't implant anything. He doesn't have a kryptonite in case, like lead encased kryptonite in Superman's body.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be a violation for sure.
And that's the line that makes it so easy to play devil's advocate on, because once you get into someone's body and his autonomy, that's like the robots get the cadavers, that's fine. I think working with the scientists and stuff is unethical, but I still think that's fine. Like, especially since, he ain't say shit to little Omni Man when he killed 2 people in cold blood. He didn't say, I gotta take you to jail.
And that was Cecil's whole line too. He's like, give me the same grace like I gave you. Like you did this, but I can't.
That's kind of the point.
So you're a higher power than me, is what you're saying. Like you have the authority to do this and I don't. And that's the scary thing about Mark is like he could be that strong. He could be unstoppable. He could do whatever he wants, And Cecil's trying to trust him, but
he is. He's the strongest hero on earth. And then this first episode already said, like I wrote it down, his speed went up by 65%, his endurance 70%, but his strength went up 138%. So I'm like, I can't blame.
And he's still growing.
I put that shit in his ear too.
And he's still growing.
And he's still growing. Yeah, that's he's not even peak.
He was in space. And then the next scene, while Cecil was talking to Oliver, he had him yoked up. That means he flew from space and yoked him up within a minute. And the way that he did it was so terrifying. I was like,
it was evil.
Omni-Man don't move like this. And he was tight. Stephen Young, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
He was so good because I was scared of him. He was like, but I was like, oh. But just a second ago, you said duplicates. Multi-Paul had to go to jail for killing. But you said you're going to kill Cecil. What are we talking about right now? For revenge, for the same reason. I can't, and I'm scared.
Even the scene that Mike was talking about, they asked like, "Oh, is Mark stronger than Anessa, the Viltrumite that came?" He's like, "Yeah, he's probably stronger. He could beat her, but other Viltrumites are coming." Like,
yeah, Anessa is softy, and that's why.
Yeah, but the other Viltrumites in question aren't really like that either, and I'll continue to die on that hill that one guy that everybody thinks is like that.
Not even before the one guy. There are other Viltrumites that are going to come.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, there's a couple other ones before that guy.
Yeah. But even before that guy, and it's funny. Everyone's like, Mark gets folded like a lawn chair every time. I was like, he's learning.
He's figuring it out.
Yeah,
he's figuring it out. But I don't like that he be getting folded by regular niggas. I'm like, Mark. But I think a lot of that is hubris.
Even in this episode, despite how much his power increased, they were still struggling against freaking Doc Samson. I was like, come on.
Here's what it is. It was they clarified this in season
not Doc
2.
Samson, Seismic, Doc Seismic.
He fought them Viltrumites on the Thraxan planet. And remember what his dad told him. He was holding back, and he didn't even know he was holding back until his dad had to tell him, "You got a dead ass try to kill these niggas."
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't see them, they try to kill us.
Exactly. But Mark is not like that. He's just not like that. It's like I always say when somebody asks me to describe Invincible, it's a Spider-Man story wrapped into a Superman story. Spider-Man holds back all the time, like common criminals and stuff like that. He's not swinging like that, So sometimes mistakes happen. If he was to just yoke everybody up, they'd be dead, And Mark is not a killer.
But is he though? Because we saw when it came to Multi-Paul, he killed. There's bodies all over the floor.
Multi-Paul is like a regular human.
The point is he realized he could let loose. Like, I can let loose. I can kill them because I'm not killing. As long as I don't kill all of them.
I'm right, because he was very vicious these last 3 episodes where I was like, Mark is considerably more violent, and they're making sure that they're showing it. And I'm glad you brought up I'm not killing, because the big argument that everyone's bringing up is Angston is a mistake. And I personally don't believe that. I don't think it was a mistake. I think at the very top we could call it manslaughter, right? But he didn't kill Levy by mistake. He didn't fall out of the sky and fall in. That's a mistake, right? You trip, I sneeze on you and it's ice breath, and that's a mistake.
I don't even think
it's like Man Too. It's not first degree murder. it's like Man Too.
You didn't.
It's Man Too. Yeah, it's Man Too.
You didn't come there with the intention to kill him. Yes,
and then you decided, okay, I'm not going to kill him, but you want to kill him anyway.
In that moment,
pull up with the gun, I'm going to rob you, and I want to kill him.
In that moment, he was bloodlusted. He was trying to kill him. He snapped out of it. He snapped out of it, but he was bloodlusted while he was putting fists on him, and he
because
was
he was
trying to murder.
annoyed. He was being annoying as fuck, and that's the thing, right? At first, yes, he did threaten his mom, and he did violence against his mom, which is terrifying.
Broke her arm, yeah.
Broke her arm, right? Which is I've seen villains do worse, especially in Invincible. But okay, he broke his arm, right?
But it was an Invincible arc, so it was a grotesque arm break. It was
it was
what do you call
way
that?
more.
It was nasty.
The anime, in the animated version, I was like, all he did was break her arm. But when I read it, I was like, oh my God.
It was nasty as hell. It was very bogus.
But I think what really pushed him was Levy was being annoying as fuck. He was picking him in, dropping him out. So it was like, he was being annoyed. And that's where that bloodlust came, right? He's like, I can't even touch you. But swear to God, if I touched you, you'd be done. That's what was going through his head.
Yeah, and the issue is Mark is very human. Like you said, he's being annoyed. Superman is not going to get annoyed. You know, Captain America is not going to get annoyed. Mark is going to get annoyed, and that puts more credence to what Cecil's saying. Like, you're very human. You have these human emotions. You're a teenager still, like, and you have all this power. Like, I can't trust you. I can't.
That's really interesting you say that, Ron, because I was on the line of thinking that his sort of like quickness to anger came from his Viltrumite side. And the sort of like ingrained might makes right socialization that came from like the Viltrumites and their whole society, and them like power is the way to sort of like solve all problems. I'm thinking when he's tight, that's Viltrumite. But you say it's human, and I think that makes a lot more sense because I don't even really be seeing Viltrumites throw temper tantrums like that for real.
Exactly.
Like, now that I really think about it.
But it's for a reason. It's always for a reason.
But that ideology about Viltrumites and the whole might and right, all that stuff, that was something that was learned. They weren't always like that because they mentioned before they were a peaceful society at one point.
Yeah, and even I hate saying her name, but even in this, when she first comes to fight, he's like throwing bows at her, and she's like, "Do you have hands? Let's see." And, like she's not tight, she's not doing all these things, and that's also an issue I have with this as a character because then later they even attribute that to what she does with Mark as like survival, as like the logical thing for her to do instead of horrific. But I think that Mark acting the way he is very human, especially since he is starting to learn. He's trying to push out the notion that he's better than everyone, right? And while he's feeling and seeing that he is physically better than everyone. He is stronger than everyone. He could do things that other people can. Even the other mini Viltrumite, he's better than that person right now. And even
that's
on a moral level, he's better than Omni-Man. Go ahead.
That's why I was really sad that they took out the line where he says sometimes. When remember in the comics, when Oliver asks him, "Don't you ever feel like Dad was right?" He pauses for a little bit before he's like, "Sometimes." And they left that out in the show. And that made me really sad because it gave a really good insight into just how lonely Mark feels as the only, prior to Oliver coming, the only Viltrumite on Earth. Remember that episode of Justice League Unlimited, very end, where Superman finally unleashes his power on Darkseid, and he's like, "I feel like I've been walking around in a town filled with paper, or everything's made of paper." That's how Mark feels every day of his life.
Yeah.
And it's isolating for him. And they didn't really capture that with this episode in the way that I was hoping they would.
I think because if they did, then it feels
it makes the Mark look bad.
It makes Mark look even worse. I was like, they have to balance it. I agree. I think that, but to our point earlier, Cecil wasn't as fleshed out in the comics as he is now. And so his point of thinking, we're like, relax. But now we're like, Mark, you need to relax.
You need to relax. You sit your little ass down.
Yeah, he does.
Sit your little ass down.
Yeah. But if Cecil had a better relationship with Debbie, she could probably, calm Mark down. Like, who does Invincible listen to? His mom. I thought that was a really sweet scene when she was talking to Oliver. Even though it didn't work out in the end.
I do think that Debbie has every right to be as distrustful towards Cecil as she is. Her specifically, I think she has every reason to be like, "Fuck you, Cecil," and the click you claim. And I get it, Cecil's just doing his job, but like, yeah, definitely her. What I did think was dumb, and now she put a target on this nigga's back, was telling her booty, and she didn't even give him
yeah, like that was, I thought, but I also kind of get it though, like.
But I get it, and what is Cecil going to do? What he's going to do? Harm Debbie? Mark will tear the whole world up. Unfortunately,
yeah, it's not about that, but like about Mark.
Mark can talk to Eve. He can talk to the Guardians. He can talk to Cecil. He can talk to Amber. He can talk to his friend. Debbie don't have nobody that she can talk to, and this is a man that she's known for years.
Yeah, but that nigga had no sauce. I wouldn't have trusted him with a secret. He was, oh my God. And I felt bad for him because Mark brought that shit up twice. He saw Adam Eve, he did his business, he came back, he came to check on him, and he brought it up again. I said, that nigga is in danger. You know, like he is in danger. And this child, Oliver, clearly is gonna have an Oedipus complex with Debbie in some way.
It's gonna get weird.
I think it's gonna get weird. It's gonna get weird really fast. And I think it's very interesting. It's interesting because she's not with Nolan, y'all. In the comments, soon as she see that baby, she's like, I can't wait for this man to come back. My whole life is about being this girl. And now that's not the case. She's dating, she's flourishing, she's starting her life over. And I'm really interested to see how is that gonna affect Oliver, who clearly loves her, but loves his daddy more. I think he idolizes his daddy.
And the thing is, Oliver's is not even human at all.
Yeah, Oliver's not
human at all.
Yeah. And I think they don't understand. I think that's something that Debbie doesn't understand, because when she was talking about how she just wants to give him a normal childhood, I'm like, you keep trying to treat this little nigga like he's one of us. He's not. And that's something that the comics explore really well.
But also, but to throw some grace to Debbie though, that's all she knows though. Like.
Yeah, that is all she knows. You know what's crazy? Oliver had this really cool line in the comics. I don't know if it was at this point in the story yet, but he talks about how because he's half bug or whatever, he remembers everything from birth, and he remembers every little moment that happened, and it like changed his perception on how life works. And because of where he comes from, because of the society that he came from, and the motherfuckers die like every month, they live like a month tops. It warped his understanding of life in such a way that like it made it understandable why he is the way he is. I don't know if they're going to explore that in the show like later on in the season, but that was a really good insight.
They have to explore some of that because you know what Oliver turns into. So
yeah.
Because in many ways for him, because life for his species is basically in the blink of an eye, life's really not that precious to him compared to like how we talk about it here on Earth.
I forgot that he was a fucking freak.
He is, but he's to us because to your point, we think he's a freak because he's, not good and he has specific taste. But that doesn't make him a freak. That makes him an alien, which he is.
But he is a freak. He's like a purple bug man.
He's not a freak. I think we can't kink shame Oliver when it gets to that point. And I think, Ateh, you just gave that whole argument about him not being human and you won't call him a freak. Shame on you.
Fuck all that. That shit nasty, gang. What are we talking about here? Fuck is we doing in this conversation? We out here letting niggas, you know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? Y'all cool with that?
Oh, no. I'm cool with it. He's not hurting nobody. At that point, at least.
That's what I'm saying. Love who you love. Love who you love. And y'all, we giving stuff away. But
my son's not bringing home one of those creatures.
Also,
I promise you.
If we remember, he's biracial. And remember what his mom looked like. That's like getting mad at Jordan Peele because his wife is white. You can't be mad.
That's true.
That's so God. But I really wanted to bring up an actual plot point and thematic point.
Okay, one more tangent real quick.
Everybody, don't get in trouble. She mentioned she's over here working, trying to listen. Don't get in trouble.
Don't get in trouble.
Yeah, I tell you something about the Superman Darkseid fight. I just want to point out that everybody talks about that fight and forgets that Superman lost that fight. Darkseid won. That's it.
Shut the fuck up.
People always forget that people lose that fight. That's why they say Goku is the strongest ever, because when he's your fave, he never lost.
But he was going because it's the hype moments. Like I remember that moment because I'm sorry, he was whether he lost or not, he was beating ass when he was talking his shit.
He lost though.
You know what I mean?
I'm just saying he lost.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Now, if you guys are ready to grow up,
by all means, speak your point.
Oliver, have you guys seen Jojo Rabbit?
Oh my god, it's like the ninth time, dude.
Yo, I love Jojo. You still haven't seen it, Ateh?
You asked me like 2 days ago. I was supposed to go and watch.
You had 2 days. It's 2 hours.
You had 2 days.
Shit.
You're right.
Excuse me, but yeah, I wanted to talk about fascism and how they use children to indoctrinate them, and then they become the biggest ops. And we're already seeing that with Oliver. Oliver, who has a memory that spans from his birth, had a good month with these fascists, right? Like, and we already see him moving like a fascist, and that's what's making him dangerous, right? He has the power, similar to like the young Nazi program. These children had power to get people in jail and things like that, but they're children, and so that's still up to children's discretion, and that's what makes Oliver so terrifying. Yes, Mark can stop him, but Mark don't be knowing where that child is all the time. So like
exactly, Mark is living his own life.
The moment he got baby Oliver, he dropped him off. To Debbie.
He's like, I'm not no teen dad.
It's not my responsibility.
And that was honestly the first time that Debbie was not Asian, because no mother of color is letting you drop your kid off. Some child off and not be like, no, you raise this kid. You want to be grown. You bringing kids up in my house.
I mean, but what was the alternative? He'd have dropped him to Cecil, which would have been he'd have really been a child soldier.
Respectfully, if I was Debbie, fuck that baby.
But keep it a buck though. You talking about?
I respect all of that. I respect all of that.
About he really would have been a child soldier. He would have been smooth.
Like my husband, because technically they're not divorced; they're still married. My husband went off and had a baby with some bug bit.
After he called me a pet.
After he called me a pet,
bug baby.
Yeah. So let somebody else raise that kid.
Yeah, he was like, his life is short. Okay, he could leave that shit in the lab. I don't give a fuck. Just like you're. Call your dad.
That's why I think the whole conflict between Mark and Cecil, and this is going to be contradicting myself what I said earlier, but I actually don't think it's that equal, because I think the narrative paints a very clear picture that Mark is a fucking hypocrite, because all that shit Cecil is saying about how, like, listen, bro, your people are dangerous, they're terrifying, and they could whack us at any moment, and that makes this a very difficult dynamic.
Unequal. Yeah.
Little nigga is a serial killer. You know what I'm saying? Like, he brought a serial killer child Viltrumite to the planet the same day. And all that shit he was talking about how those people are killers, yada, 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 throw them back in prison. What Oliver did to the Muller twins is one of the most terrifying. And lied about it. Thank you for saying that, because it shows discernment. It shows a type of discernment that is terrifying.
And he lied about it.
I know what I did was wrong. I know what I did was wrong.
And you know what?
That's different.
Cecil, at that moment, I wish they did leave him with Cecil, because Cecil was the only one handling it correctly. Them people were shocked. They said he's gonna die. And Cecil was the only one brave enough to talk to this fucking murder baby.
Did you see Immortal?
Immortal said, oh shit, I'm gonna die for the 4th time. Why is my name Immortal? It's like Invincible.
Bro, it's shit in bricks, bro.
Nigga Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
That can't be the same guy.
Immortal could probably take him out, because he's not the Oliver.
No. Oliver
Immortal's a punching bag, bro. Immortal has never won a fight, bro. No, not one time. This kid has never won, not once, bro. Yeah, he would get smoked.
And he didn't even get stronger. At least Alan the alien he got packed up. He came back.
Yeah.
And honestly, he's stronger than most Viltrunites. At this point, I think he's stronger than Mark.
Alan is like very key, because nobody else comes close. It's so disparaging between all the other superheroes on the planet and Mark. It's like it's not even close.
But I really like that aspect, because once again, Mark is not human. So the Immortal is the strongest a human could be, and he's supposed to be the pinnacle of what humanity has to offer.
Achieve. Yep.
and I was gonna call him Steven. Oh my gosh, good for you, Steven Young. But Mark is not. Oliver is not. Everyone else that comes, they're not going to be human, and that's the point. And that's where Cecil fear lies, is that he's relying on outside sources, and he's like, what can I do here that's human, that's from this place, that I can actually, you know, push forward and like protect us. And that's word to Tony Stark, right? When he first made Ultron, he was wrong about Civil War. I feel y'all there. He was not wrong about Ultron and creating, you know, creating something that's not an alien from outer space or to the discretion of the government. Like, and that's what Cecil's trying to do now, you know?
Cecil is a good guy. He's not even, and this is where I struggle to really understand what they're trying to do with this character. And I feel there's this huge disconnect between how people discuss him and the way he's actually portrayed, because I've never seen this nigga do anything evil. Like, nothing near Amanda Waller's level. Damn near not even Nick Fury's level. Like, Nick Fury was partnering, you know what I'm saying, with Nazis. You know what I mean? Like, he had Nazis in the building.
He didn't know.
No, to be fair, Nick Fury didn't know about it.
I don't want to hear all that. I ain't trying to hear that.
He didn't know the Nazis were there. That's
shit.
the biggest plot hole of the MCU. That fucking
the biggest plot hole is him being married to a Skrull.
Agent Carter knowing
being married to the Skrull this whole time.
Yeah,
Nick
the
Fury
Skrull
didn't
shit
know.
is crazy. Nick Fury, he knew.
No,
he had
knew
to
she
know.
was a Skrull. No, he knew she was a Skrull.
No, he knew she was a
But
Skrull.
the fact that he knew that Skrulls were on planet and things could happen like this, you know what I mean? Like,
I think a bigger plot hole is that 1 million of them were fucking smuggled onto the Earth.
It's crazy.
That was kind of crazy. They were smuggled. But I think a bigger plot hole is that he is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's the top guy. And he didn't know that half his organization were Nazis.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That don't make no sense.
It's a writing issue. Or not even just that, but you can make the argument like, remember Tony Stark downloaded all of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s files. He had Jarvis down. You mean tell me Jarvis ain't pick up nothing?
Couldn't find it.
Nothing.
That's my point. Cecil would never let no shit slide like that.
No.
What are we talking about?
He would know about the Nazis if he
would
know. And if they're helping, he'd be like,
listen, these Nazis.
Listen, they are a
little racist. They are a little racist. I don't like their jokes. But God damn it.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nick Fury was like, oh my God, there are Nazis all around?
Yeah. I want to talk about. Oh, go ahead, brother.
No, because I was gonna say you said he hasn't done anything evil, but with that talking about bodily autonomy, do you think him having that device in Mark was a
bro? Fuck all that. You are a walking nuke, nigga. I don't want to hear none of that shit.
No,
what are we talking about here?
I think it should have been a conversation.
No,
I believe it should have been a conversation, but it should be a conversation after he did it. Like, yo, the stuff that your father did, we had to put some parameters on you. Like, we love you. You trying to trust you, but we had to, you know, that should have been a conversation after it happened.
I was saying a conversation where that's a decision they made together, but you're saying nah, you put it in there and then just disclose. Disclose.
That's kind of I fuck with that because it's like, is it fucked up? Yeah, but like he said, you can either be a good guy or you can be a guy that saves the world, and that's really damn near the only fucked up thing that Cecil really has ever done narratively that I can think of in the show so far.
Yeah, but
it's not even that bad.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad to do to a person. And even when you guys are saying is still doing it against his will, right? Like that he assaulted him essentially, and
he violated
we don't know
him.
if people are saying it's a bomb. I don't think it's a bomb.
No,
that's the one thing. But
it's
they're
worse.
saying he could die from it. Just being annoyed. There are people who live with ringing in their ear all the time.
Nah, it was torture. It was torture. It was not.
That hurts them.
Yeah. Even in the comics, remember that conflict when it broke in the comics? They said it could kill him if it was to keep going on. It was going to kill him.
And even in the show, like Cecil told him to stop.
Yeah, because it was.
But then. Fucking Rexplode, dumbass, blew that shit up. And then, whatever. But I do think, even what you're saying, Ron, where like they put it in against his will, and then he asked, he's not going to take that well either. We just saw that with Mark. Mark don't play that.
So I think he would have took it better than this, though. I'm not saying it's still not like morally right. It's we tiptoeing lines and we're in a gray area, but I'm just saying like after that happened, after he got out the hospital, like, you know, having a discussion, like, we had to do this.
I don't know.
And
I
then
don't know if
maybe he would have wilded out, but he would have understood it better. Then I was secretly waiting for you to act up. I was waiting for you to act up.
I don't think
I was waiting for you to act up is better than I was scared. Like me telling you, I'm scared that you will act up. You know what I mean? Like,
because
it's a possibility.
The way that Mark is moving, he would have been like, "What do you have to be scared of?" That's what Mark would have been like. Have I not?
Exactly. He would have shouted. He would have started tweaking.
I mean,
he would have started tweaking.
To Frankie's point, he had that exact reaction when they went in the white room. He was like, "I made this room to protect me from you." He was like, "What do you need protection from me?"
Yeah.
But
that was the point. That was
Look at how you acting right now. What do you mean?
Cecil right.
Yeah, that.
It's the equivalent of like if a woman's arguing with a man who's physically bigger and then he stands up and yells at her,
gets all in her face and says, what are you angry about? What's going on? I'm not leaving till you give me some answers. What are you talking about? I'm calling the police right now.
Chokes her. Yo, he said, why are you afraid? Choked him and was like, I don't know why you think I'm a threat.
Hold on, real quick. We got a superstar in the chat right now. A future Grammy Award winning costume, not Grammy,
damn, this guy
winning costume designer in the chat. We got Vanta saying that she agrees with Ron. I just wanted to shout out Vanta.
I think that's a great point, though, in regards to the fact that I don't think Cecil did almost everything right. He fucked up by putting that shit in his head, sure. But when people have this conversation about who was in the wrong on TikTok, like I've been seeing today, everybody's like, "Oh, Cecil escalated, and he's the one that, you know, turned it into a physical conflict." I said, "Are we watching the same show?" Bro was trying to walk away.
He kept saying, like,
bro, relax.
Why is it that you can do this, but I can't? Like, what's the difference? But Mark was like, nah.
Before then, he said, "Mark, please just
walk away."
He said, "Walk away." And then so he said it once. Mark was still crashing out. He said it a second time. He was still crashing out. And then he walked into the room and then said, "Listen, last time, I'm telling you, go home." And he was like,
yeah. I'm trying to tell you, if your boyfriend,
I feel like even some point in the conversation, he was like, "You can talk about this when you calm down." Like, you know what I mean?
That's all
Sometimes
he said.
It's good to walk away from it and come back to it with a cooler head, you know.
And that's the thing. Mark wasn't trying to talk.
He doesn't have that level of maturity. I didn't get it until I turned
Mark wanted his way. That's basically
wanted his way. Yeah, he was a kid. He was a kid about it.
Exactly.
And he pulled that thing out because I'm trying to say, I would be scared too. Mark is yelling. What we have to understand is, you know what I'm saying? Somebody had said in the comments, Cecil brought a loaded gun to the conversation. I said, Mark is the loaded gun.
Mark is the nuke.
Mark is the nuke, bro. He yelled at me. I just saw your dad use your face to kill 35 people on a Chicago subway and not a scratch on your cheek. And you telling me I'm supposed to just let you yell at me and not get my mans to back me up? What is we doing here?
Not just that, but I just learned that this beef is forever. Like the way past about if you don't fuck with me, this is gonna go past generations. You live in years.
Yeah, you live in thousands of years.
Who haven't read the book? It's like really cool how it sets up like two teams. Like there's the Guardians of the Globe, and they're kind of like not, you know, like you guys keep calling it Civil War. It feels very Civil War. You know what I mean? Like half of the Avengers are like, you know, we're over here, and the other one's like we fuck with the government. You know.
Yeah, and that is a critique I think you could use for Invincible is that like they make the government look so good, even though they're bad.
They do.
It's like the things that they're doing badly. It's like
they're doing it with honor.
Yeah, and it suggests that like the government are doing things for our own good.
So you can say in that aspect is propaganda because we know the government don't do shit.
Don't be doing shit like that. The government is
even in our media we don't see it that often. So I think we can let this one rock. Like it's
I'm inclined to let it slide because I kind of like imagining a world where even when the government niggas are like doing things that are morally gray, they're still like guys that are trying to be good. You know what I'm saying? They're still trying to do the right thing the best way they can. I like to live in that universe. It's not the universe we live in currently. And it's fun because the way shit is out here right now, bro, I need that.
Yeah.
I don't think Aaliyah. I don't think Mark is becoming his father. I think that's more Oliver. Oliver's definitely becoming more Omni-Man.
Kirkman and whoever directed those episodes definitely want us to believe
they both are. Yeah.
They both
but I think
are.
they want us to believe Mark can become his father. Oliver kind of is his father, you know.
Oliver already is.
Oliver's already there, but for sure, like I said, that scene where he's beating up the robotic man, bar for bar, that scene is identical to the scene in the
massacre.
premiere, the massacre in the premiere. And yes, those are cadavers, but there was still blood. And something about that, they made sure that they painted that blood like brownish red.
It's rotted. It's a rotted body.
It's rotted body. I was like, oh my! It probably smelled crazy.
Oh, you're not even lying.
Crazy in there.
And it's to the point of that, it's like I guess a lot of people are wondering, like, because Mark, like, you see that scene where Mark is holding back before that when he's fighting the twins or whatever, and he's like not even punching back and knocks the guy out. But when he's allowed to let loose, he goes nuts. And even with the Animan, like when Cecil was in the right room, like when Cecil showed him that there was way more, like he cut loose again, and he just turns that on. And is he turning it on, or is it just happening? You know, like as soon as he knows he can let loose, it's like a whole different thing. You know, he's a whole different person.
I think my interpretation of that to answer that question is like and I think this gets into like stuff that I'm not going to spoil anything from the comics, but sort of like if you know about the multiverse stuff and like Mark in relation to his multiversal counterparts, that dude's default, I believe, is like he is evil. Not in a sense that like he's an evil person, but if he were to let his inhibitions go, he could very easily slip into that sort of like authoritarian psycho Viltrumite, or whatever you want to call it, energy that a lot of his counterparts have. And so when that version of him that is really letting loose is the version of him that sort of turned off those inhibitions, turned off, like I think he's one of those characters that actively has to like try to cultivate morality and peace because his default is not exactly wired for that.
It's a tease to like it was say, every version of him in the multiverse sided with his father.
Yeah, it's just that some of them are so evil.
I think too, though, is that because of their nature as a Viltrumite, or is it just a natural progression of anyone's mind when you have that much power? You have that much power. You live that long. You're around people who you can't even like. You can't even get buns for real, right? Like imagine
you can't let loose in that way either.
You can't let loose in any capacity. You're always essentially holding your breath. Like imagine if you were just in a room full of babies and newborn puppies every day,
all the time, every day of your life.
It's very, after a while you become resentful, right? Or imagine when you're in a very white space. We have those feelings like when you're in a very white space for a long period of time and it weighs.
You kind of got to like tone yourself down and you
watch them dance terribly. They're saying words wrong. You're like, and you're just sitting there like
using that was the bomb. Like, what are we in the 90s?
I actually say that was the bomb. What are you trying to say right now?
Bomb.com.
You know what we're trying to say.
Yeah, we're not leaving that behind. It's gonna come back.
I don't think so. No, I think that one belongs to the whites, Frankie. You gotta let it go. You would have to set that one down.
Every time I say things like that, everyone laughs.
But real quick, this is something I was thinking of too. Philosophical question from the Most Potato. Cecil made a great point to rehabilitate criminals, but are they rehabbed or are they just forced and repurposed? What do y'all think?
That is an argument that someone put, and I said, this is the first anti-Cecil argument that I really fuck with. He was like, I was like, yo, are they not here to rehabilitate and work off what they did? And he was like, all he did is weaponize them. He didn't rehabilitate them. He mentally reprogrammed them and then used them for another thing. And essentially, that's terrible.
Yeah,
yeah. Go ahead.
No, I don't think they'll ever be truly rehabilitated because rehabilitation would be like, okay, you've served your time and now you're free. But I think Cecil intends to continue to use them as weapons forever.
Yeah,
you're in it for life. Blood in, blood out.
Like, why Mark Trippin then? They still in jail.
I feel like it's true. They are still in prison. I feel like it depends on how you look at it, though. I mean, because when we talk rehabilitation, obviously the colloquial understanding of that is like, you turn into a good person, and now you can go back to your day, and so on and so forth. But rehabilitation in the context of superpowered beings has to be that after these superpowered beings commit mass murder, you got to work that shit off, man. You're not just going to go to jail and get therapy and go out back to the streets like a regular person. No, you have special skills that are necessary for the defense of the world. You broke this shit. Now it's your time to help try to fix it. And I think that's valid. And I don't think it's like, and I don't even think like it's like mind control or even like psychological reprogramming. I deadass think he was like, listen, you're a fuck up and a piece of shit. And if you want to
I hear what you're saying, but do you think after 10 years, Cecil's like, all right, you don't work for me no more? No,
nah, they're gonna be there forever.
Exactly.
Hey, what about it? You know what I mean?
At the same time, though, they probably getting paid. They're probably on payroll.
I'm pretty sure they're not getting paid. I think he houses them. They're in jail. They're in jail.
But ultimately, I don't think it's a rehabilitation. I think it's just a redirection, because even when you think about it, I can't think of the man's name, but the one that makes the anime. Like he's still doing the same thing. He's still accomplishing what he wants to do. It's just now under.
Listen, hold on.
That man does that all the time, Mr. Freeze. He'll be like, "Do your research from jail." I don't think that that's an issue, but I think the issue is that where does it stop, right? Wouldn't you give someone the power to be like, if you commit this crime, now you have to work for the government fucking for free to work off your sentence? Now I jaywalk and I'm in jail because I got powers. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's an inevitability, right? Where
that's real.
Make it strict, and now it's up to Cecil's discretion. If I say no to working for the Guardians of the Globe, all of a sudden I just committed a crime.
Okay, but
that's a real life scenario too. Unfortunately, like like a lot of people who fought fires in the LA forest fires, they're like convicts and stuff like that. When I was growing up, like that was an option. Like you used to get in some kind of legal trouble, and it's like you can go to jail or you can go to war. It really happens.
I think we got to look at these situations in isolation, though, because they're not all the same. Now they're, it's not. We can't paint in broad strokes. The thing with the Darkwing and with that other doctor, they're sort of like two different situations. Darkwing was a hero whose mind snapped. Okay, he lost his mind.
To operate in Gotham City, like he's not locked up in this place all day.
He wasn't like a born villain out to he fucked up. His mind was yada yada yada.
Imprisoned all of Gotham and was killing people for.
But check this out, though. He apologized. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Cecil still let him operate as a superhero. Like
he expressed
in his
true remorse. He expressed genuine remorse. You know what I mean? Like that. In a world where rehabilitation is a concept that we take seriously, expressing genuine remorse has to count for something, right? Like that has to be worth something. He said, "Man, I messed up. I know I did. I was awful. And I'm here to change that." And as far as the scientist guy goes, Cecil still hates that nigga. As far as I'm concerned, he's still a prisoner. It's just his skills are being used not to torture homeless people, but to actually like help stop world-ending crimes. But like for all intents and purposes, the guy is still in prison. No, and that's what we want, right? At the very least, now he gets to work for the government and saving people, and then go back to his cell. Is what I'm assuming is the situation with him.
Yeah, Vanta brings up a really good point.
What is
if he can use you
for rehabilitation?
If he can use
you, it's that simple.
Exactly.
Because what's his face? The scientist guy doesn't have any powers.
But if he can use them, it's by power. Yeah, it's.
So if you're like a common criminal and you kill somebody, you just you're gonna go to jail, get death penalty.
You're going to prison
because you have powers. You're gonna get you know,
I don't
I
even
don't
think
want to say
it's
a pass,
everybody with
but
powers,
so that
though.
that ethically makes it wrong as well, too. You know, so
It's not even everybody with powers though, because they imprison superpowered villains all the time that they don't use. It was just, I think, two specific cases of, okay, one superhero that like kind of went down a dark path and his mind kind of snapped, and another really intelligent scientist that happened to have created mechanisms that were part of the very small number of things that could harm a Viltrumite. You know what I'm saying? Those are not, it's not like he has a general rule for rehabilitating murderous villains and then he just likes like using them, for his own gains. It was
I
under
agree with
very
that, but
specific
agreed.
To piggyback off of Ateh's point, like even when you think about the beginning of episode 3, which the way episode 3 began, I thought was beautiful. Like I thought
oh boy was death. That's why we didn't hear anything. I was like, oh,
no, they just had to do it. They just had to be a silent, like 10-minute opener. And I thought that was great.
Beautiful. That was really beautiful
style. So, but going back to the point that that Ateh was saying, like those villains, we got to see the circumstances of them being villains, and they have powers, but they weren't somebody that Cecil was looking at to rehabilitate. It was just like, what am I going to do with somebody that can shoot like skin out their chest? Like, I can't use that. So he locked.
I also love that they brought in Bulletproof, and he cleaned them up pretty easy too. And that's something that I think we need to see a little bit more of. That like we are seeing the Guardians of the Globe fight in the most extreme circumstances against aliens and people not from the planet. But normally they do their fucking job and they do it well. And I think that that's something that isn't coming across. They just look like cannon fodder. Like
I gotta disagree.
If Viltrumite didn't exist, they'd be a perfectly capable world defenders.
I gotta disagree.
I don't know who this is. Sorry.
Did we not see at least half the Guardians of the Globe get washed by some lizards, by some snakes?
That's my point.
You know what I'm saying? Those are not world-ending threats. Those are they didn't do their job. He clutched in the end. Rex clutched in the end.
They got caught off guard. They got caught off guard.
They got caught lacking. That's your excuse?
Because even Mark got washed by those snakes.
Yeah.
It's hard to have these conversations without spoiling future things. Like you guys are bringing up so many points that are into other things.
So are you guys ready to go? Is there something that we missed from the episode before we go into comic book spoilers?
Is there anything I want to talk about?
Oliver need to go to jail.
Yeah, fuck Oliver.
I mean, the boy is 10.
Can we talk about
Juvenile?
Yeah.
Maybe Rex. We didn't talk about Rex at all, really, and I feel like that was a missed opportunity because he had a lot of screen time this season.
I like that he is growing as a person. He's like, oh, that's the old Rex. Like,
yeah, I fuck with Rex now. I fuck with him heavy. I guess that's all I had to say. It really isn't anything new.
Yeah, I fuck with him. Immortal is the worst, and I do like that Immortal. I feel like is getting more screen time, and I'm being honest. I want more. Like I think he's a sucker. Like I don't fuck with him, but I think that we need that
character.
We need that character, and I think we need to see that Immortal is the strongest of the humans, which is something that I don't think people realize, and I'd really like to see more of him.
Is he the strongest? Or is Bulletproof?
Nah, Bulletproof.
He's not Bulletproof. Is not stronger.
Bulletproof. Not
I
yet,
wouldn't
maybe?
even put Immortal as the strongest of the humans, though. I think there are a few you could put above him, but they don't come till later. That Dino guy, you remember the dinosaur? Adam Eve full unlocked powers is probably like one of the strongest characters in the
spoiling.
But not just on Earth. She's like in the universe. We talked about this earlier about the.
Also, the Immortal. I don't know if people know that he's Abe Lincoln, which is
really
Abraham Lincoln. That can't be the same guy that freed the slaves. It can't be.
Yo, I don't know if but the way that Immortal like Abe Lincoln, that's actually closer.
I think it's closer to Yamcha than Krillin.
But a Goonie, but she kind of Immortal is the Krillin of the team.
I think he's more like Yamcha.
But that's kind of what I was going to say in the lines of like the Guardians of the Globe. It's like in a Dragon Ball Z sense, like it was like before Saiyans came to Earth, like Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, like Master Roshi, like they were
they were nice
top of the crop. But then once you introduce these other creatures, Piccolo, Saiyan, it's like they're getting washed constantly because they don't have that level of power.
And they never caught up.
And Piccolo never caught up.
Piccolo
caught up. Just now
from this.
It took decades for Piccolo to catch up.
But Krillin and they never caught Tien. They didn't catch up.
Piccolo is definitely the closest, but he never caught up to where the motherfuckers was at.
But
nah, fuck Kate. I don't like Kate.
Agreed.
Duplicate?
Yeah, Duplicate.
Why?
Man,
Why don't y'all like her?
I don't fuck with Duplicate because she's a woman. I don't like that shit, man. God, because she talked too much, gang. I ain't gonna lie. She was crying about like that shit is so bogus. Knowing damn well that you have multiple versions of yourself and you can like tuck one away in case you're ever in an emergency, and to try and like go trauma for trauma with the rest of the motherfuckers who only get one life.
No, she feels every death. That shit is traumatizing, right?
But she feels every death, but she doesn't die because she can always put another version of herself away.
Granted, not to be full of pressure Olympics, but for her to go like fight toe to toe with like Ray, I mean, like because Ray literally almost died. Duplicate, she knew she wasn't like that. She always got that.
She's not strong. She using karate and a prayer. Like that's what we gotta remember. She don't got no fucking strength. And she like I need y'all to give Duplicate more power. I will say that I don't think that she uses because when another one of her when she duplicates, don't they retain their memories?
Yeah.
They're like the same person.
I used to get mad at Naruto for the same shit. You need to be I need to have a double over here reading everything that I need to be reading. There should be someone at home telling me what I'm doing. Like
Naruto did that eventually.
Yeah. It took too long.
Can we get into spoiler territory now?
You've been waiting.
You mean comic?
Oh God, I have. So
the floor is yours. What do you want to bring up?
Well, Mike.
I gotta let Mike lead.
Yeah, Mike, are you gonna leave? You gonna stay?
No, I'm gonna listen. It's my stream. I'm staying. I'm gonna listen.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess I'll start it for all of us comic readers out there. I actually wanted to.
There's stuff I know. I just haven't gotten there yet.
Keep shit player for all of you guys in the viewing this. We're gonna get into comic territory, which is very much spoiler territory. So if you do not want to be spoiled on the comic book, now is your chance to head out. Thanks for coming. Really great to have you, and we'll see you next time.
More pizzazz.
Hit the like button if you're in the stream. Make sure.
You're right. You guys make sure that you like and subscribe.
That's
not
how you talk to people when you're excited.
Frankie, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you all for joining us. We really enjoyed this. But we're gonna be spoiling Invincible, and it's incredible. If you haven't,
Invincible the comics, because
all of them. Somebody said which books? All of them.
We're gonna go to the end. So if you want to be surprised,
all 144. There are 144 issues. We're spoiling all of them.
Spoiling all of them.
You don't want any spoilers. The time to do, or if you don't care about spoilers, you feel free to stay.
Okay. So the first thing I wanted to say was getting in that conversation about strongest human on Earth. I wanted to, because I think that's a lot more interesting of a conversation than it looks, because I want to say that Immortal is, but then we have to also keep in mind that there are human characters that like in their powered up forms are not human, like the Dino guy.
Dinosaurus.
That's not human though.
He's human. He's human.
He's human.
You know what I mean? So is what's that girl's name? Monster Girl. Monster Girl is human.
But that's not human. I'm saying is humanity, right? Immortal is humanity. These people had to become Monster Girl.
Since when could humans fly?
Monster Girl.
Like dinosaurs.
One thing in the comics,
he's human. He could just transform into a dinosaur.
It was the Image comic though, and you guys are forgetting that a lot of characters from the Image universe were in it. Like Savage Dragon crossed over. You had Spawn in the Invincible comics. So technically, I know we probably not get any characters in the show, but there was somebody in the comics who could have stopped Mark.
Let's keep them away from this conversation, because that shit gets that shit gets real spooky when you factor in the fact that those other characters, especially Spawn, then it becomes a whole different conversation. Because then you start to poke holes in the story. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna start poking holes.
You do.
I think don't be dense. You get what we're saying, right? Like Immortal represents the human race, right? The Viltrumites are a reflection of humans from another Earth. You know, Monster Girl is from her power.
I agree.
Poet. You knew what
I agree.
meant.
He's the strongest human, but what I'm saying is he the strongest character from Earth?
I mean, I would go Adam, Eve, and Robot.
Strong Robot smartest, but
not strong.
All right, are we talking about actual powers? But like when you were talking about the Tony Stark thing and the shield over the world and all of that stuff, and I was like, when you were saying that, I was like, well, he gets that in the end. He gets that.
He wins. He totally can. He
gets that in the end. I was struggling so hard not to say he gets that. Like, you know what I mean?
He does get that. Robot's turn is so fascinating. I'm so excited for it.
This is now we can really get into the crux of what's going on with Cecil and whether or not his plan is correct. My first thing I want to bring up is that Mark admits that Cecil's right, and then does what Cecil does with Robot.
Yeah, no, I'm not the robot part, but I'm at the part where like he admits Cecil was right, but then he's also working with Dinosaurus out and everything. So I'm at that part.
And he leaves the planet. He's like, you know what? I gotta go. It's not for me.
And when he found out that Cecil made a bunch of reanimate of him, he thought Cecil thought he was going to fight him. He was like, no, I agree with this. You should have. I'm glad you did this.
He's like, thank God, because he grew up. He was like, you know what? I was kind of wild. I was a little wild.
Mark helps Dinosaurus create one of the worst natural disasters in Earth's history. I'm talking about thousands. Was it thousands, tens of thousands? A lot of people died. I'm talking about like crazy blood on Mark's hands. And I really enjoyed the fact that ultimately that was his time to learn that people make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he had to go through. That's the experience he had to personally go through himself, where he had like a lot of genuine blood on his hands from trying to do the right thing, for him to recognize that the world is not black and white. Because old Mark, if a superhero or anybody did the same shit he did, bro, he would have packed him up in an instant. Yeah. Sent that motherfucker to the sun. But I still never forgave him for that. I'm gonna keep it a bean. That shit was evil. He didn't get punished enough for that, in my opinion. That shit was really crazy. And that's why I think my major problem with a lot of the superheroes in this story, and most particularly Mark, is that it never feels like they actually, when they make the mistakes they do, especially Mark, it never feels like he actually is held accountable for them in any meaningful way, because he can't be. Who's gonna get him?
Who you gonna put him in jail?
I think Mark held himself accountable, and that's what makes him a better hero.
I agree. But holding yourself accountable means you should probably like willfully, like, I'm not gonna lie, if Superman, accidentally caused what Mark caused, he would willfully sit himself in jail for.
That's happened, not to Superman, but it's happened to John Stewart. Like, it's happened in comics. Similar things have happened.
Yeah, Mark ain't do that shit.
Mark ain't doing that shit, and that's the point.
Mark can't do that shit. He said, damn, my bad. Hey, but
he said that was kind of crazy. That was kind of crazy. I'm not listening.
I was tweaking for a sec. My fault.
I was tweaking. I'm not gonna do this again.
That's really what he said.
But yeah, let's talk about Levy, because there are a couple things that I thought they changed about his story that makes him way more interesting. The first one being that, like, Mark, that accident that happens at the beginning of their story together is an actual accident, right? That's caused by Levy. I think in the comics, Mark causes that, right? The big accident.
No, it was. I never thought. Or at least from when I read it, it never looked like Mark actually caused it. It looked like Levy was tweaking out the ass from day one. Yeah. What do you think, Ron?
Yeah. Did you read Levy? Go ahead.
I think I'm trying to remember in the comics. I think it was like he was telling Mark to stop. Like, it was mad long ago. I think he was telling Mark to stop because Mark thought something else was going on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought Mark did it not on a malicious tip.
Exactly.
But like, he was trying to
stop. He's like, oh,
it.
the twins are doing something to you. Let me save you.
Yeah. I would have to reread it, but in this case,
I thought the Maulers was jumping his ass or something.
It was something that was Mark had a little bit of blame. Versus
from what I remember, I think Mark is the cause of it. But that extra thing that they added with Angstrom Levy, was like when he tried to actually like take the helmet off and stop it. Like, I will not have my new thing set on the bloodshed of other people. Like, I think that was added in the show.
But there was some, because at the end of his beef with Angstrom Levy acknowledged, like, he remembers. He's like, "Oh shit, I am tweaking. You totally wasn't your fault." Right? So I'm like, how could it have been Mark's fault if the whole sort of conflict resolves by Angstrom being like, "Shit, hold on, I misremembered."
It was more like, I was trying to take over the world. Not that me looking ugly, which I feel like he wasn't fine in the comics, but he's definitely supposed to be fine in animation.
In the show,
and maybe because it's Sterling K.
Yeah, I was gonna say they cast Sterling K.
Why they cast that buttery ass voice?
Sexy ass voice. He wasn't supposed to sound this sexy on Everything I Love. He wasn't. That's not how I had it in my head, gang. He sounded like a dork.
No, that's not how I had it in my head.
I thought he was a dweeb. I thought they were gonna get what's his name, like Sam Richardson, or something like that to do it. He's not a loser. He's just like Sterling K. Brown post American fiction. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I think his death, and him returning is very interesting to me, because in all times I was like, Mark, you tweaked out, like you're wild here. And when you murdered him, you didn't have to murder him, right? He could have broke his legs, he could have done anything. He just was like, I'm gonna punch you to your faces in. Talk about, I thought you were stronger. And that's what people keep on bringing up, is that Mark is saying, I thought you were stronger. He knew he wasn't strong.
He knew he wasn't. Yeah.
He didn't punch him once and then his face caved in. He punched him once and he said, nah, dog, that's not enough. I want to see the way he. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, and like, I know, Mike, you're not there yet, but we're talking about all these things that happen. Mark having accountability, all these things that happen, like around issue like 100, they reboot the whole story. So none of it really matters.
I'm trying to remember.
It's literally called reboot, and they go back to the point.
Talk about Conquest and Cecil.
Conquest and Cecil, bro. Cecil put that nigga in that tough ass prison just for him to fly off. He broke out. He flew. As soon as he woke up, he flew out that bitch. Bro, he got up out of there so quick. Bro, Conquest is a fraud. And I said it before and I'll say it again. Conquest is a fucking fraud. He's 0 for 2. As far as we can tell, he's never faced anybody that's actually super nice. When he fought Mark the first time, Mark wasn't even, I wouldn't even say Mark was like near his final strength that he reaches at the end of the series. Like, we're talking
Mark cheated to get his final strength. He was like Vegeta with the butt waves. Like, he just healed him.
With the sensu beam.
Yeah, that was sensu beam. Yeah.
And he still got hoed. And I just think the worst thing of the Invincible comic book was that they hyped up this character so much, and he was all aura, and I hate characters that are all aura.
I mean, he looks cool. He got one eye.
That nigga's an aura farmer,
he looks cool. He is an aura farmer, but I think people always use him as an argument, and Cecil keeping him alive as to like, you're gonna regret siding with Cecil. No. He should have kept him alive. Like, he was like, I need to study this Viltrumite because there's a war coming. Hold on. Who put that comic there?
Which one?
What the fuck?
Oh, that was me. Oh, it's supposed to be under my name. I don't know why I show. Oh,
we are your YouTube?
Dual stream. It's a dual stream. So that's
I got nervous. I was like, we got
somebody hacked us.
Hacker.
So on my end, I see my name, not yours.
Oh, okay.
That shit weird.
Damn, what were we talking about? We were talking about Conquest.
You guys don't remember when they rebooted to the point where Mark fought his father again? Like, it went the entire comic all the way back.
Yeah. Shit. What? Okay, so it rebooted. How did that end? Didn't somebody like
he joined his father this time? Oh, someone already hit me up about like, oh, you like Eve, but she about to cheat on Mark.
What did she cheat on Mark with?
No one. She never cheated on Mark. During that reboot, he was gone for 5 fucking years.
And
came back, she had a boyfriend. And everyone, the whole fandom, when I went to Reddit, everything was like, can't believe Eve cheated on Mark. And I did the same thing you did. I was like, when did she cheat? When she thought he was dead?
Yeah, that ain't no cheating shit. That ain't no cheating shit.
Yeah, he was gone for 5 years at one point.
She was mad as fuck.
Oh, damn. Wait. Oh, because you on book number 94 instead of.
She was tight when that shit happened.
It was like one of those time things.
But she was more hurt about it than Mark was. I mean,
because you don't want to be the girl. She loved Mark. Mark is the love of her life, and she had to go through grieving and like, I'll never see him again, knowing that maybe he would come back.
I get you. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying, from the fans' point, who are mad at Eve. Like she grieved that, like it's not like she didn't care. It's like she did something malicious,
Nah, she
David
got thick
asked
a little.
really
She got thick a little
question.
before this.
No, I hate it. I hated the thick storyline.
I do.
Wait,
I do
put
too.
David's question on the screen. That's a good question. I wanna, because I'm not trying to think how far. I think it's like
no
30%.
Nah, yeah, it's like
20?
30%. Where
not
we
even
are, where we
half.
are now is probably like issue like 30.
Oh, we can look it up. Hold on.
Yeah, we're pretty early on.
It's
Bro. There's
like
a lot of
it's
shit that
like
happened.
early. Even season 3, it's still early in the comics.
Yeah, it's real early, which means this show could sit for a smooth
65. 65 will be the finale, which is
the multiverse of war, right? The
oh yeah, we're on the thing.
Yeah, we spoil it.
I was like, shh.
I'm so stoked for that, bro.
Like, why?
So we have
this should be like at least like 18 episodes because there's so much.
Yeah,
no, I agree.
With the pacing that they're doing, if they're ending at 65, then we probably got 3 more seasons.
Man, that World War mark, bro, is so tough. I love that multiverse shit, bro.
I did not.
Well, they have the episode list and they say like what issue they think they're around or something. Like, how'd you just?
Yeah. Wiki, the fandom wiki.
Oh, okay.
Yo, I'm good.
So yeah, we still pretty because there's 144 issues total.
Yeah.
I remember reading the final issue when it came out, and it was the extra long issue, and you got to see like,
Tara,
fully grown Tara, and you got to see what Eve. You found out that Eve was fully immortal, bro. That shit made me so happy, bro.
No, what doesn't make me happy, and I really hope that they fix it, is that once we learn that she has this like mind thing, this mind block, get rid of that shit. You know what I mean? Get rid of it.
I think so much. Yeah, you're right. It's been done so much.
It's been done so much, but I think the issue is that Eve with unlimited power. Why is anything an issue?
There's no threat.
Eve with unlimited power would be a god.
She's basically like Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
but
her reality.
And just like Scarlet Witch, she's emotional and she needs this block.
Comic Eve is terribly written.
They do that with all.
Comic Eve is so
Comic Eve is so terribly written.
2003 though. It was 2003.
It was 2003. We know. But I will say this. Yes, it was progressive for 2003. But niggas are acting like women did not exist in 2003. Yeah. Kirkman was talking to women in 2003. He was getting buns like he.
What female character was written around 2003? Cersei Lannister. The Game of Thrones books were out for a minute, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was out for a minute at the time. I ain't seen no weird writing on that. And it's crazy because like I know they're a product of their time, the comic, but going back and looking at it, you're like, damn, this is actually really bad. Like Debbie, especially. She was written terribly, gang.
She was written terribly, but I'm glad
she was written terribly, gang.
He fixed it.
He fixed a lot. They fixed it from the jump too, which I appreciate.
From the jump, right in the beginning, buddy.
Yeah. He said, and I love that he acknowledged it. He was like, "Yo, my bad, yo. I was wilded. I was thinking, probably somebody." I think a woman just dogged him out. And he was like, "Fuck you. I'm gonna make a loyal woman that could always be, yada yada yada."
That always runs back to the man and has no personality.
I think he wrote himself in a wall with Eve, making it that she can change like atoms, right? She can control all atoms.
Yeah, he can manipulate molecules.
Yeah, so like once you get there, to your point, that's Scarlet Witch. The Viltrumite Wars.
It's even bigger than Scarlet Witch. It's like Molecule Man in Marvel Comics. He rewrote the entire universe in Secret Wars. Like once you start manipulating molecules, you can do anything. You can turn people into toast.
And you know what? Let's talk about Oliver because you were kink shaming him, and we need to talk about it. So those of you who are saying, obviously, we are in comic book spoilers, and Oliver gets married to a shrimp, right?
It's not even a shrimp. It's a nasty, dirty bug bitch.
Whoa. That
got racist.
Somehow racist. Look, Ron left.
Ron left. You offended Ron.
I cannot be a part of this. Hold on.
I'm sorry, bro.
Oliver's girl.
Yeah, how you gonna get mad at him for marrying a shrimp? He's a butt. Like, have you seen his mother?
Everything that's not a shrimp. That is a man.
Have you seen his mother?
That That is a grown adult Viltrumite human. That is not a shrimp, Francis.
I'm trying to get the picture up.
I'm looking it up right now. This bitch is disgusting.
She isn't. This is a shrimp. Grow up. Okay. Shrimps are ugly.
That's not a shrimp, but shrimps are ugly, but this is something different.
Shrimps
I couldn't even
ugly. Damn, every time I go to the picture, it sends me out. Hold on. Here we go. Twitter. Maybe that'll make it bigger. Shrimps are ugly. Okay, here we go, y'all. I found
put it up.
Y'all tell me what this is. Hold on.
Put
it up. Oliver's wife. Okay. No, is that the one? Okay, here we go. Can y'all see?
That is it. Zoom in, bro.
Yeah, zoom in.
How do I zoom in? This is X.
Nigga, bro, zoom in the way you know what I'm saying? You gotta like scroll that bitch in
like you do on your phone.
Yeah. You want a laptop or a computer or what?
I'm on my laptop. I'm on my computer. Look. Y'all gotta.
Let me squint.
This is the best.
Let me squint.
Nobody else.
Let me try to see if I can pull it up.
That's a shrimp?
Nah.
Frankie, that's a shrimp?
That's a prong. Yes.
The shrimps are the insects.
I feel like that's mine.
I think I can do it.
All right, let me stop.
Shrimps are the insects of the ocean. So even if you say that's a shrimp, that's still a dirty bug.
There we go.
I agree.
Y'all see it?
Oh, yeah. Is that any bigger than what I showed you?
Yeah, it was way bigger than what you.
It's really not.
Y'all can get fucked. That's the same.
It's the same size, gang. It's the same size. You're tweaking. Hold on, bro. Ew. Oh my God, bro. That's right so nasty. Oliver had kids?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. He did.
He looks just like Omni-Man. And you know what? I think they're making him look too much like Mark. We got to remember, Oliver is just white. He not Asian like Mark.
That's true. So I don't think they're going to make him look like Mark in the...
He already looks like him.
In the show? I don't think so.
He already looks like it. And that's something I was debating with someone. I was like, Mark and Debbie are not Asian in the comic book. They're like Demi Moore. Like they're just dark-haired white people. And maybe he had in mind that they were Asian, but they definitely Vincent said they look just like Mark.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. I guess I can see what you mean. Damn, I forget. Oh my God.
Who's Agent Spider?
That's just blood of Argyle. Damn, I forgot. I just looked him up. I forgot how dirty he was done.
Who?
Oliver. Boy, that guy got did grimy.
Yeah, he I stopped hating him towards the end. Yo, do you remember who Agent Spider was? Because I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
You guys don't remember it? Agent Spider is the Spider-Man ripoff that when Levy was throwing Mark in multiple different universes.
Oh yeah. They don't need it.
Yeah.
We
already got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Go watch that.
Yeah, we're not worried about all that shit. Damn, that shit hurt my feelings. I just remember what happened.
Warlock said they were supposed to be Asian, but they weren't colored.
I do have to go soon, but I did want to talk about one last thing from the comics.
Oh yeah, because I have to leave soon too. Let's go.
Because we didn't get a chance to talk about this. I wish Ron was here. Robot storyline. I think Robot storyline is when Robert Kirkman is at George R.R. Martin levels of writing. Yes. I think that shit was incredible, just so beautifully written. I mean, what's your opinion? Did you get there, Mike?
I'm not there yet, but I know what happened. I know he goes villain.
No, and that's funny because
I'm not there yet.
People be like, "Oh, Frankie, you're gonna change your mind. What about Robot?" I'm like, let me tell you something about Robot. Once he did what he did, Earth was a utopia.
The world was a better place.
Everybody on Earth was happy. And that was an important note. And once again, that his propaganda that the only way to achieve peace and utopia is by extreme violence and fascism, right? Because then Robot, God damn it, he pulled it off. He
did pull that shit off.
I am at this point though. They're talking about when they were trapped in that Flaxen
Oh yeah. So they get trapped in the Flaxen, and then you have to find out how they get out that jam. And what's cool is that when they get out the jam, for the next I don't even know how many issues, they don't even focus on that storyline. Like we're just keeping up with Mark. But then right around the time I think when Robot makes his turn for evil, and we're blindsided by that, then we get to this flashback of all the events that took place within that time period, and it is so cool. It is really, really good storytelling, and I'm so excited for them to spend hopefully half a season on the Robot storyline.
Funny enough, the reason I know Robot is evil because Frankey spoiled it.
Yeah, Frankey bogus for that on folks.
Frankey spoiled it.
I spoiled it.
Yup, you were talking to Ron. And y'all were talking about. I was like, oh well, I didn't say anything. I was just listening. I was like, oh, I know Robot goes evil now.
Well, you should have read the comic book. I don't regret it.
I'm reading it now.
No, you've been reading it now for years.
I have
for years. I'm gonna spoil everything. I'm gonna just text you. I'm gonna text you spoilers randomly. You don't.
No, dead ass. I'm about to get in there. I'm about to get in there and just start
spoiling shit. I'm gonna just drop shit.
I'm on issue 93. That's pretty deep in.
All right, let me. Where are you at? Where do you remember?
Oh.
I just said where I am. Bulletproof just became Invincible.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Okay, so did you see the Bulletproof story?
The full one?
The back. Did you get to the full Bulletproof backstory?
Not his full backstory. I know he tried to.
I'm about to ruin your life. Check this out, right?
Thank you.
No,
I'm
not gonna do it.
I knew you were gonna do it.
I know he got a girlfriend and tried to cheat on her with Adam Eve, and
that's all you know.
That's all I know so far.
Frankey, do it to him. Frankey, do it to this nigga right now.
Listen.
Let's do this nigga trash.
Let's do this. You think cheating is the worst thing this nigga did? Cheating.
That's what you think about, bro? All right, bro.
I mean, this is what we'll do. How about this? You got till next week. Y'all comic books. And listen,
next week.
Someone told me that I wasn't a feminist and that I'm just mad I was born a woman. And I'm just
why do I see that, bro?
I'm just fighting against it. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Dylan, I'm a bully. I get gay kept every day. You don't read the comics every day. I get spoiled.
Every day. Yeah.
So if I'm gonna do it,
we're punching down.
I'm punching down. This shit feels so good. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the Kendrick
reference.
I had too many LA friends to really enjoy Kendrick because they're just so excited. And I'm such a hater. And I can't be happy for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really to be happy for them when we created hip hop. And now I gotta watch this LA nigga
he running the streets right now again.
I mean, it's embarrassing. It's pretty embarrassing.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. New York's GOAT right now is fighting a crazy charge. I'm not gonna hold you.
Really?
It's not looking good, bro.
It's not. We're down bad. We're down bad as well. So it's like I'm watching them thrive, having the time of their fucking lives, watching all of their culture on the Super Bowl stage. I can't even get Beyonce in peace without it turning into a race war. Frankey is single-handedly. And you know what? Can I say the beef that we saw last year brought back hip hop for men because women had it. Before a second, men were back.
Men took it back. Men took it back. I fuck with that. I fuck with that shit heavy. I'm not gonna hold you. Man, this was an excellent conversation. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem.
I love you.
Thanks for being on.
Ended. Ended. All right. You're right. This was an incredible conversation, even though Ateh is not bringing the energy he should. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm joking.
Go ahead, Francis.
I'm joking. Whoa.
Yeah, I'm using guppies.
Damn.
I'm glad I'm using guppies.
I said, well.
On live.
Put the gun down. Put the gun down. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy.
My fault. It just slipped out on God. I had to double down.
You know what? You're such a
Black History Month.
Third Black History Month, and then Women's. I can't wait for Women's History Month. I'm gonna be.
Although Francis is a strong black, it's like one of them old like Albertina
It's
Yeah, it is.
It's a slave name.
It is a slave name.
It's for sure a slave name. Absolutely. But that's fine. That's fine. Ateh, tell everybody where they can find you. Even though you pretended to be a Cecil lover, you acted like Mark.
Hey, me and this guy Mark have the same disposition for hater energy when provoked, and that's not that's really you too. I don't actually know how to fuck you. Wait, hold on, you tried to flip that shit on me. You were just bullying my. Hey,
I've never been a hater in my life. What did we
You
say?
were just bullying Mike out his ears.
No, he said I got till next week.
I'm a professional hater, y'all. I'm a professional hater.
It's an S rank.
Sometimes I be hating, and I'm like, I am really good at this.
You're
this
ranked.
Yeah.
You guys can find me at TikTok at Destructo Jugo. There we go. You could also find me at YouTube at Destructo Jugo. Video essay coming soon. I finally finished writing it. Now I just have to record it. Yeah, you can find me Instagram at Destructo Jugo. And thanks for having me. What do you got
coming up when we go look you up on Destructo Jugo? Tell us.
What I got coming up is a couple new videos about Invincible. I definitely want to, extrapolate my takes from here and turn them into content. And a very important video essay about a special topic that's very dear to my heart. It's going to be a surprise coming on YouTube this month. New short films coming, man. I bought a new camera. I actually want to show you guys my camera really quick. Yeah, so this is my new camera. This is the Canon EOS R5C with the Canon RF. Oh, no, it is. The lens is 2000 and the body of the camera is about 3-4. So I'm very excited. Very excited.
I don't know what any of that means.
Point is,
Point is, he spent money.
Yeah, I got bread. I got money.
Y'all niggas broke. I got money. So thank y'all for having me. Hey, y'all go ahead.
Well, thank you for throwing it to us.
One thing I forgot to bring up, but we're not going to talk about it now, but I would just bring it up briefly. We didn't bring up like the whole Amber being a disposable black girl because she was barely a thing.
I don't think that that's true at all. I think they gave her so much more.
They gave her way more than she deserved. I never liked Amber.
Story. I didn't like her because we all like Eve.
Yeah, I didn't like this new version of Amber either.
White character and made her black, knowing the way her character was gonna go.
Yeah, they should have never did that in my opinion.
I don't know. I think Zazie Beetz said she wanted to be on it, and he wanted the characters to look like the voice actors. I think that's what happened there. I don't think he did it on. I don't even think of
a black Viltrumite or something.
I don't think, and he gave her so much more autonomy. The one thing I do want to say about Amber is that people are saying like all of a sudden she's like understanding. No, her whole thing was that Mark was perpetually lying to her, and once he stopped, she was better. She was chill about it. And even with her being okay with Eve dating Mark, she was over Mark. Mark left her alone for 6 months. Her grandpa died. She lived her life. I would have been like, oh, Eve, that's your problem. God bless. Enjoy. I got some fine shit at the crib.
That's the crib waiting for me, gang. I ain't even tripping.
Yeah. But let me go ahead and if you guys want to follow me, who gave me the sticks? If you guys want to follow me, you can find me on all platforms at Fantastic Frankey, except for Twitter, but you won't find me tweeting. That's at Fanboy Fighter. I think the perfect way to
on Blue Sky.
I am, but I don't be on there. I be threatening the fuck.
Be on there neither.
I be threatening the fuck out of here, out of everything. But I think the best way to describe my page is my nature as a New Yorker is to be a hater first and everything else second. Let's just apply that to all things fantasy, sci-fi, comic books, and you get my page. So there's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of discussion. Pull up. We have a lot of fun. Right now, the big ticket items are Invincible and Severance. We're having a fucking blast. So pull up.
Are.
Yes, thank you.
I don't even be in there for real. But we are having a blast in the Discord though. Y'all pull up. As the vice president of Frankey's Discord, I just want to humbly.
Don't you dare! You are not the vice president.
I'm not.
No. Between Morlock and Detroit, how dare you?
You're right. I can't.
How dare you? I got and what's his name? Dang. I don't want to call El Harmon. He gonna kill me when he hear it. I got some Juanita's on here.
My fault, guys.
How dare you?
I got outside of my body a little bit.
David asking for a Severance live.
I would love to do a Severance live, man. I would
do a Severance live. Maybe the finale.
I'm down to talk. These episodes are getting too robust. I may do them, but if we do them, y'all, we'll probably pre-record them because it's on a Friday and niggas be getting busy.
Yeah.
It'll be pre-recorded. Y'all can check it out. Pre-recorded. Right. Yeah. And we'll try to keep up in the comments, but I'm definitely down to do it for Severance. I want longer reviews for Severance anyway. So.
I agree.
But yeah, y'all can find me everywhere. Black Gay Comic Geek. Frankie and I are going to see Captain America: Brave New World tomorrow. So review for that. What I'll take.
Ateh said I'm out.
He said I'm out.
He said God bless.
We didn't even get to say bye.
Yeah.
Homophobia. He left while I was talking to homophobia.
It is homophobia. I agree.
Review for that will be dropping. And then Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Invincible, and then a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, pull up.
Oh, and also, you guys, watch my fucking show, please.
Oh, yeah. I mentioned it in the earlier.
Yeah. If you guys haven't seen it, please watch the DC Studios Showcase on Max, but definitely on Max's YouTube. Koi's fan base is killing me. They're cooking me, and I need support. Please. It's a really good show. We're breaking down all things DC. We have a good fucking time. The set is gorgeous. It's every other Friday on Max's YouTube, or anywhere you can listen to podcasts. So thank you guys.
All right. So we out. And who knows when the next time we're going to go live. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But hit the bell notification button so you're alerted every single time we post the live broadcast so you know when we're going to go live.
Facts.
All right. Take care. Peace.